Welcome in to the DNVR Avalanche season preview for the Colorado Avalanche, where we will talk about if the Avs can do it. Can they get back to not just regular season success, but maybe the promised land? Who's to say? We're going to go through all of their players here and talk about the season that is to come and maybe what expectations should be for the team. First off, AJ, let's just start it off with the big question. How many regular season wins for the Colorado Avalanche this year?
I'm settling on 52. I think I've changed my answer every single time you've asked me, but I'm settling on 52.
All right. I like it. I've said 55 from the start, so I'm sticking with 55. President's Trophy Avs. We're going with it this year. For that to happen, we're going to need to see a lot of success from the players that we're about to go through. Let's start from the goalies and work our way out from there for the Colorado Avalanche lineup. Starting with Mackenzie Blackwood. Now, Blackwood is going to start the season injured. We still don't have full clarity on exactly how bad this injury is. It could be as little as 1 to 2 weeks, or it could be something that he deals with a longer time. But there is little doubt that Mackenzie Blackwood's success is going to mirror the success of the Colorado Avalanche this year, AJ.
Yeah. I think Mackenzie Blackwood is going to be a huge part of, just like he was last year. He got here and kind of changed the tone of the goaltending position. Scott Wedgewood was already here. I think they got him like 11 days earlier.
Yeah.
Something like that. And they helped change the tone, but with Blackwood as like the man in net, like he's the starter. He's the guy that you want to play 50 plus games. I mean, the way that they played in front of him versus the way that they were playing in front of Alexander Georgiev really goes to show you like there is something to the psychology of it. How much do you trust your goaltender?
Yeah.
They were selling out at every turn to try and bail Georgiev out because he couldn't do it himself. And with Blackwood, they were just playing the game, and he was pretty good. We certainly have qualms with how he finished the postseason series, but he was pretty good for them. If he could just build on that, honestly, just repeat that and then have a better postseason, they'll be in great shape.
Yeah. If Blackwood plays up to his ability, the Avs should be going on a long run. I'll put it to you that way. Behind him, Scott Wedgewood, trusty, reliable backup at this point. He will have the starters net for the first handful of games of the season. I don't think there's a ton we would have to dive into with Wedgewood, but it makes certainly the organization's life a lot easier when you have a second guy you trust.
It really does. And he kind of has like a backup quarterback vibe to him where love and life, very happy-go-lucky personality, very, very good locker room guy, where he understands his role. Would he love to play more? Of course. They're all competitors. They'd all love to play more. But he's happy to be there. He puts the work in, and he produced really, really well for them. He was really solid for them. And I think you could have a conversation of he was so solid that 30 to 35 starts this year.
Yeah, I think that'd be just fine.
Would be fair enough for Wedgie.
Anything to keep your goalies fresh, I am interested in. You want 100% ready for the playoffs. You also have Trent Miner. We don't really need to get too much into him, as if things go well, he won't be playing a whole lot for the Colorado Avalanche this year. Yeah. But a guy who has certainly earned that third goalie position for now, at least.
Yeah. We've talked about, hey, he's got to be motivated. He's not just a young guy trying to play for a career here. He's a young guy whose position is lost.
Yep.
His pathway to the NHL disappears at the end of this season when Ilya Nabokov comes over from Russia. He can't just cede that ground. Don't give that up. Make them make a decision, right? Exactly. Make them make a decision. He's been a really good AHL goaltender the last 2 years. Last year, 2 years ago, backup. Last year, more as like a platoon starter. Yeah. And then the number one starter in the playoffs, and he was phenomenal.
Yep.
So build on that momentum, and let's just see. Let's see what the kid has, because he's got 6 months to try and prove he's gonna he's going to be able to take a job.
Yep. Let's move on to the defense that'll be playing in front of these goaltenders, starting with one of the bigger questions for the Avs going into the season. Can Sam Malinski play the left side effectively for the Colorado Avalanche and be an everyday NHLer?
Hopefully.
Yeah, that's where I'm at with it too. I don't know that I believe in it yet, but I want to.
Yeah, I certainly don't believe in it yet. He hasn't done anything that would make us believe in it. Even if he'd had the world's greatest preseason, and he had been a dominant player, you'd still be going, it's preseason. These aren't real games. Like, I'm not buying into this. I think they should give him about 20 games to try and see what he has. And less if he doesn't get any better at all. If there's not an arrow up, he's not moving it forward at all, then you don't need to give him 20 games. But I would give him about 20 games to try and see, all right, where we go, where are we at with this? Right now, it's the position on the roster that I think is the most likely to be upgraded at the deadline. Malinski's a pending UFA, right-handed, a little bit on the underside, a little bit on the smaller side, and a puck mover, but a puck mover who had 15 points last year. Like, there are some things to really like about Malinski. He's more competitive than you would expect. But for a quote-unquote young guy, he's 26.
Yeah.
Like, there's not a lot of development left for Sam Malinski. A lot of this is going to be who he is. So I'm on the fence. I have tempered expectations for Malinski this season.
Well, let's move from a guy who is the ultimate is who he is guy at this point in his career, and the Avs' one defensive addition in Brent Burns. Pushing 40 at this point, but expectation is still he should be a reliable guy for the Avalanche. And realistically, I'll ask this. Do we think we can see a improved version of Brent Burns than what we got from him in Carolina this year? Or is this trying to just get a continuation of that guy?
Yeah, that's a hard question to ask because how much of this is going to be blood from a stone?
Yeah.
And how much of this is, well, he had a lot of really good underlings in Carolina last year. So maybe the production was just more of an anomaly. The on-ice shooting percentage was more of a, wow, how did that happen? Or is it Carolina always produces guys with great underlings, and it's really hard to separate the Carolina from the reality when you're talking about guys changing systems? That could be a real challenge, and with Burns, I think it is. There were a lot of red flags. The lowest on-ice shooting percentage on the power play that I've ever seen.
Yep.
It was like 3% last year with Burns on the ice. If that even is like a normal, like 7 or 8%, that's even on the low side.
Yeah.
Does he have a 35-point season? We're not even really talking about this. So, maybe. But it did happen, and he is 40 years old. So how much is declined and how much is this is just where it is?
Fair enough. I do think we've talked about this quite a bit, but one of the big factors for Brent Burns is he's another D you can reliably play on your penalty kill.
Yep, and good penalty killer. Now, again, great Carolina system, but he's a good penalty killer. He should really help.
Yep, so the Avs can maybe find some minute balancing there with Brent Burns. Also, potentially an option, depending on how you want to organize the Avs defense, to put him on the second pair and break up that Gerard Manson pairing that, while they have good underlyings at times, the puck just seems to end up in the back of their net.
Yeah.
Is there a step forward there? Let's talk about Gerard first. Can we see Gerard get back to being a guy who is closer to a 30 to 35 point guy in Colorado?
Yeah, he needs to be. He just needs to be. He's got to be better than that.
Yeah. Fair enough.
He can be, but yeah.
Are the Avs solidified here? Is Gerard locked into their second pairing indefinitely?
Indefinitely, I don't know about, but I definitely, I mean, I think that he should be a second pairing guy for them. Um, what he does with the puck, his mobility, it's all very good. They've needed a better balance on the other side. Josh Manson archetypally would be that balance, but as you mentioned earlier, it just hasn't quite worked the way that they wanted it to. So Brent Burns gives them an opportunity to take a little bit of a different look. And Sam Girard, Brent Burns could be pretty soft defensively, but could be really good with the puck.
Yep. That could be a great puck moving defense pairing if it functions well enough in their own zone. Josh Manson, realistically, is the goal for this guy this year just stay healthy?
Yes. Number 1 goal, stay healthy. Number 2 goal, a little less chaos in the game. The variance in his play is a little wilder than any of us would prefer. I think the second goal is probably unrealistic, and the first goal is luck-based. So, woohoo!
Yeah.
But an important player for them.
Yeah.
Brings the grittiness and the physicality and toughness that they really need on the blue line, and a surprisingly effective offensive player.
His role has not changed at all since joining the Avs, basically. Keep doing what you're doing and stay healthy. The top pairing, Makar and Toews. I don't know how much we need to really say about these guys, but we can have a little bit of fun with it. 92 points for Cale Makar last year. Can he get 8 more this season?
God, did he have 92?
He did.
That's crazy, man. I mean, a 62 assist season is nuts.
Ignore the 30 goals. Yeah.
Yeah, he scored 30 goals. I mean, he had 69 assists the year before. So he just needs to combine that with the 30-goal season.
That would give him 1 short. Yeah.
And we're almost home. So let's go.
Play those last 2 games instead of playing
play those last 2 games. Yeah, no, I think he can get the 8 more. I mean, he's Cale Makar, dude. He's special. He's a unicorn. He can do anything that he wants to do. I would like to get him back to scoring the goals. It feels like it's been a long time since we've seen Cale Makar score some goals.
Yeah,
that postseason series felt bad, and the preseason hasn't been any better. So it'll be nice when we go back to normal and he scores a bunch of goals.
I don't want to spoil your written piece too much, but there are scouts out there that say this guy could win a Hart in the next couple of years. So Cale Makar is that guy.
Yep.
Devon Toews, on the other hand, continuing to be the stalwart portion of that pairing next to Makar. Look, we've seen this guy put up 50-point seasons with the Avs before. Is there a little room for growth here?
Yeah, the last year was such a strange season for the Avalanche because the first half of the year was so many injuries and the second half of the year was so many trades.
Yeah.
That it was sort of an odd year for everybody involved, and Devon Toews was a pretty good embodiment of that. 30 points in his last 42 games last season. If you can do the math on the points that you see on the screen there, you'll see that the first half of his season wasn't very good. So the second half of that season, he really bucked up. That's a 58-point pace across an 82-game season, in case you were curious. That's pretty good. That's the kind of guy that we're expecting to see. He was the guy that we expected for more of the season last year than not. And his defense got steadily better and better and better as the year went on. I'm not worried about Devon Toews at all. Looks good. Guy's a menace with that stick.
Yeah, they genuinely top 5 stick in the NHL. I put money on that. We move into our forward core here with the bottom 6. A couple of steady pieces, at least going into the season as we see it now. Parker Kelly, Joel Kiviranta locked in to your 4th line wing spots. You also have Ross Colton locked into your 3rd line somewhere. The main storyline through preseason is Zakar Bardakov coming in and being your 4C. Now, this is a complete unknown. This is his first year in North America, let alone in the NHL. How much of a factor does he play into the success of the Avs this year?
Big factor. These stats are hilarious.
Yeah.
A big factor. We couldn't have used his KHL stats. Damn. No, a big factor. We saw last year what quality center depth could actually do for a team. That wasn't the reason the Avs lost. They were really good down the middle. They were effective. Um, and I think with Bardakov, he brings good size. He's got the physicality. He's got a cool visor. I mean, his teammates like him. These are all important factors in a guy's success, especially the cool visor. That is a guy that if he figures it out and it all clicks for him and he's able to kill penalties and he stays out of the box because he is a little penalty prone himself, you feel really good about what they've got here.
Yep, agree. I think there's more confidence in the Avs depth to start this year than there has been in a while, but some of that cruxes on the fact that you're giving Drury a look at 3C. If he can succeed there, it's hard not to really love the Avs depth, but Drury is going to have to take a significant step forward offensively to be successful at 3C.
Yeah, you basically want to see him double his production.
Yep. I would say that pretty much nails it on that front. Hopefully he can, with a little bit of goal-scoring help from Ross Colton on one wing, as we mentioned. And then the other wing, we're penciling in Victor Olofsson here, but this is maybe one of the most up-in-the-air positions this season for the Colorado Avalanche, as far as maybe we're in a world where Gavin Brindley is the 3C and he earns that job across the course of the season. Maybe this is more of a trade deadline target. We're going to fix this spot. Whatever it might be, you're looking for an archetype player like Olofsson. So the question is, can Olofsson succeed in Colorado?
Yeah, that'll be interesting because Gavin Brindley's preseason has been so good and so strong that him pushing Victor Olofsson for that job on the third line next to Jack Drury and Ross Colton is interesting. Yep. Olofsson needs to get it going a little bit. We need to see him score some goals. That's what he's here to do. He's not a bad playmaker. He knows what to do with the puck. He's a solid offensive player, but it's all the rest of the things that you need to be able to do, especially when you're in a checking line, as Olofsson will be. If he's in the bottom six, he needs to be able to check. He needs to be able to commit to the defensive game. He needs to have an all-around game a little bit. If they slide him up to the top six and they move like a Lehkonen or a Nichushkin down to the third line to try and balance it out and protect Olofsson a little bit, are you really better for that? Is that really a good thing?
Maybe. I mean, to be honest, with the top six that we're about to talk about, you really just need your bottom six to be functional, right? Yep. Olofsson doesn't have to be a home run who gives you 20 goals, but he does, as you say, have to be a player that's effective. He can't be bleeding goals the other way out there on the ice.
Yeah, if he just produces at the pace that he did last year, as we see, his 29 points in 56 games, that's perfect.
Yep.
And he'll push 20 goals with that pace. Yes. That's perfect. Just do exactly that and you will get everything that you want out of Victor Olofsson.
If he gives you that, the Avs are one of the deepest teams in the league, I think, at forward at least. It's that simple.
And Gavin Brindley still might steal his job.
Right.
Because Gavin Brindley's been that impressive.
Top six for the first time. Well, I don't know that that's true necessarily. People believed, myself included, in Casey Middlestad at the start of last year to be 2C, but this year it's Brock Nelson in the 2C spot. They've committed to him for the next handful of years. The easiest way for me to put it is Brock Nelson has to work. He has to be the 2C properly.
Yeah, he's big. He skates well. He's got a really good shot. He should be a 30-30 guy. He has great chemistry with Gabe Landeskog. All of the components are there for this to work. If it doesn't work, then I don't even know what the pivot is after that. If Brock Nelson falls through the way that JT Compher and Ryan Johansson, Alex Newhook, Casey Middlestad, I mean, geez, what do you do then?
Just has to work this time. There's no two ways around it.
Something
that might help that work quite a bit, and you could argue the biggest acquisition of the offseason for the Avs this year is actually Gabe Landeskog. The captain is back, technically returned in the playoffs last year. It is what it is that he hasn't played in 3 seasons, but to be honest, if you get a proper top six version of Gabe Landeskog back for the Colorado Avalanche, it's one of the biggest feathers in their cap that they're contenders for the Cup this year.
Yep, he's a two-way monster. He makes them harder to play against. He sets a physical tone. He's also a great leader. If you're a diehard on the website, you'll see this in the next couple of days. If you're not, then you should become one so you can see it in the next couple of days. He is everything that you could want out of a leader, the guy that wears the C, the kind of the cultural flashpoint for the organization. It's him.
Yep.
And on the ice, the two-way play, the physicality. He's such a smart, crafty offensive player. Like, I'm not expecting him to be as good as he was before he got hurt. That's unfair. He had been insanely good. He'd been a better than a point per game player for the Avs that last season. While he was injured, while dealing with this knee injury, he was that good. But if he could just be solid, just right there alongside Nelson, just a 30-30 type season, you're in the money.
If he gives you 60 points, you might be the best top six in the league, especially with the injuries Florida is going through. Like, that just might be the case, that the Avs have the best top six in the league.
Yep, absolutely.
Then you have Val Nichushkin. Obviously, the Avs top six wingers. You expect some flexibility on who plays with who. But Nichushkin is an interesting one this year because if you get a healthy year out of him, there's a very real chance that you are about to get the best year of Nichushkin's career in Colorado.
Yeah, I mean, if he can stay healthy, and he can continue to produce like he has, you're talking about a potentially 40-goal guy.
Yep. Which would
certainly
be massive.
30 plus.
Yeah.
30 plus. You're not fretting at all about what your bottom six is doing at that point.
Yep. So, rock solid second line, and the very little we've seen of it was fantastic in the playoffs last year. So there's a lot of reason to love that. You move up to that top line, you have the stalwart of Arturi Lehkonen. Look, Lecky is who he is. You know exactly what he's going to bring. He's not going to score goals at the rate he did last year, but realistically, a guy you can expect to have another 60-plus point season in your top six. I don't know that there's a ton more we need to describe about Lecky there. He's Mr. Do Everything for them. The other side, though, and the guy that you would love to take a step forward for the Colorado Avalanche is Martin Necas. Had a point per game season last year. Awesome. How high does that ceiling go?
Yeah. It needs to go higher. He needs to be a 90-point guy in Colorado. And then it has to carry over into the postseason. If he's a 90-point guy in the regular season and he's a 2-point guy in the playoffs, nobody cares.
True.
So that's really, I mean, all of the pressure is on Martin Necas to do everything.
Yep. He has
that sounds like a lot of pressure, but it is.
Yeah. You need to be the second best forward on this hockey team. That's realistically the ask for Martin Necas.
Yes, it is. And it needs to be pretty clear cut.
Yeah, I would agree. He needs to be at the top. And that leaves us with the best forward on the team, which is obviously Nathan MacKinnon. Another 100-point season likely on the docket for him. AJ, I know you've talked about there's a chance you might see a little bit of regression there in the sense of you'd like to see the Avs distribute those point totals maybe a little bit better across the top six as a whole. But Nathan MacKinnon is still Nathan MacKinnon.
One thing about MacKinnon, he had 116 points last year, and it was one of his worst seasons at 5v5 in 5 years.
Yep.
His scoring rates, his raw totals, all of it was down at 5v5. So if those get good again, he might end up with 116 points, and he'll just play less, which is the ideal outcome for everybody.
Yep. The Avs win on every angle on that one.
Yeah. If he declines in that regard again, then you start to wonder about deployment. You start to wonder if Necas isn't the right fit there. You start to wonder, oh no, is he? Are we seeing the first vestiges of an aging curve?
Yeah. Maybe. I mean,
so
it has to happen before I buy that. But yeah,
just go out and score 116 points so I can nitpick it again. I mean, come on.
When you're that good, it's hard to be perfect. So I'll put it to you that way. Everyone will find something to nitpick. But
yeah,
with MacKinnon leading the way on the forward core, Makar on the back end, it's hard to not look at this team as anything but a contender and one of the best teams in the league.
Yep, absolutely. They're deep and talented on all three levels.
Yep.
They're imperfect. This isn't a finished product. This isn't going to be the roster that starts game one isn't going to be the one that starts game one of the postseason, but it's going to be pretty close. Yep. I don't think we're going to see the massive overhaul that we saw last year. There just isn't the room for it.
You can expect changes at the deadline. Obviously, what really matters for this team is the playoffs, but to win the playoffs, you got to make it there first. So the Avs are set up to be wildly successful this regular season. That's going to wrap up our season preview for the Colorado Avalanche. Make sure you like and subscribe here to the DNVR Sports channel. We do a podcast 5 days a week if you want to watch that. So we appreciate y'all listening, and we'll see you in the next one.
We all silly like the mayor.